When you move a house, either you've just bought a new house or you're renting in the UK, these are some of the things you need to notify or you need to keep in mind to do before you go into your new house or as you are in the process. Hello, my name is Gloria, and on this page, on this channel, I talk about everything abroad, lifestyle. I share my experiences. I give you tips on things that will, improve your process, improve your life, and help you to settle better in the UK. This is your cup of tea. Please remember to subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment in the comment section. The first thing you need to do is to update your address. Remember to update your address at the post office, your bank, all your subscriptions, your job, your salary, HMRC, your driver's license. These are very important. It is very important that you update your address on time. Sometimes you may think, oh, if I move away or whenever I've moved, I'm going to update my address. It may be too late. Notify post office, let's say a week or two. I know post office will charge you for some amount of money, but you can do this yourself. Just make sure you write the names of every area or anywhere you have your address written. Your school, your children's school, anything. In this country, all the addresses, they're all interlocked. You have to always have an updated address on your driver's license, everywhere. HMRC has to be informed, your office, your salary, everything. So I usually write them down, like places I know I have whatever business with, I always write them down, my GP, and then once you've sent notification of change of address to these people, you continue to tick. You may be lucky that maybe the old house that you're moving away from, you can have access to it and get your letters back, but sometimes you may not be lucky and you're going to miss extremely important informations. You can even be penalized if your address is wrong on especially your driver's license and some other important documents in the UK. So you want to remember to please update your address. One other thing you want to do before you move into the next house, at least give them a month. I've been through this, I've made mistakes, and I thought I should share, is to make sure you update your utilities, let them know that you're moving. There was a time, let's say my first proper house I rented in the UK, I forgot to notify the Wi-Fi people on time. So I moved to that property and I was in that property for like 2 to 3 days without Wi-Fi. And you know what that means. So notify them, tell them the date you're going to be moving in. Let it correspond to the date that, you really need that network to start. Notify all your subscriptions, your Wi-Fi, your water, your electricity bills, so that they know when to start in the new property, so that they can be activated in your new homes. And especially if you're buying that property, I know if you're renting, sometimes all these are inclusive in your rent, or you don't have to bother about that. Your landlord may sort them out. But if you're buying and you're going to be moving to your own property, remember you're now the landlord, so it is important that you set up all these things, your water. You don't want to go into a house that is cold because you've not set up your heating and everything before you move into. I know this is like a common sense, but sometimes we just forget these things. Another thing some people do is changing of lock. If you're renting, please make sure you liaise with your landlord to know, so that he knows that you're changing his house lock. But if you're moving to your own property, I would say it is okay, especially if it is an old build, because I bought an old build, to change the lock if you think you're not sure, because you don't know how many copies of the key to your house exist. I would say it is important that security is very important. You can change the lock, or you can even have a camera, or this Go Ring. They're very cheap, that when somebody approaches your door you can see them. But most importantly, if you want to change the lock, it will just help you. And I know most houses in the UK, inside the house, the rooms do not have locks. The bathroom, the shower, usually if you have children, I usually have a lock behind in my bathroom. But when I moved to this country, it was one weird thing that I noticed, that rooms, bathrooms, places do not have locks. Anyway, yeah, you can decide to change your lock just for security purpose. Another thing is deep clean. The old house you're moving from, and the new house you're moving to, deep clean. I know spiritually, even back home in Africa, we'll go one night to the place because you don't know what spirit was dwelling in that place. Let me not be spiritual. Let us just last on a lighter note. Anyway, deep cleaning. Once you deep clean, I know your landlord from the house you're moving away from will try to rip you off your deposits. They will try. But if you have good evidence, say you have pictures, you have videos of how you moved into that property, and you've tried to leave the property as much as possible in the way you met it, deep cleaned, hired cleaners to come and clean that property for you, just to see if you can get your deposit back. I know some landlords can be very funny. No matter how much you've tried, they may still try to rip you off your deposit. But remember that your deposit is saved in a scheme, and if you have good evidence that you've not done anything wrong to that property, you will or may likely get your money or your deposit or some part of the deposit back. So the cleaning, I think, is important. Where you're going as well, you don't know their lifestyle, you don't know what they've been doing in that property, so you want to make sure everywhere is proper clean. This is especially applicable to if you are going to buy a property. Make sure your inspection is top notch. Make sure the inspection, they've inspected for moles, that somebody has not just painted over the moles, that the logs, the smoke detector, the carbon monoxide detector, and fire extinguishers. Ensure everything is in the right order. You may not have a fire extinguisher in your house, but I mean, you want all the electronics, you want everything to be in place. It's not the one that you buy property or 2 days later and the thing goes on fire. You want to make sure all these things has been inspected. You get a certificate for your boiler, for your gas and electricity. It has been, the annual check has been carried out, and you're satisfied. Okay, you want to make sure all these things are in place. I know this is just a general advice for moving, because I've just moved and I know how busy it can be, how stressful it can be. Personally, what I do is I just unpack the important things first. The most important thing to me is where I'm going to lay my bed, where I'm going to lay my head, and the kitchen that I'm going to cook. So these are the places I usually unpack first. And one tip that has also helped me while packing, you can imagine packing a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house with children and everything into another property. You can imagine how many things we might have accumulated over the years. What has helped me is making sure that whatever I'm packing, like if I'm packing the kitchen, everything that I've packed from the kitchen goes into the kitchen. So nobody's gonna go and dump everything in the middle of the sitting room for me to come and then start untangling and dispatching and setting where they should go. If you're carrying the bed from the old house, once you get to the new house, the bed is going to the room. So you're not going to just leave it in the sitting room. Everything goes to where everything should go, and then arranging will be easier. I unpack the important things first. Like I said, it's going to be the bed I'm going to sleep and the kitchen, because those are the most important life savings places that are actually very important to me. So I try to unpack those first. Another thing you want to do is to know your neighborhood. Try to go around, try to meet the neighbors. I know everybody here wants to mind their business, but this is a place you're going to entrust your life in, especially if you have young children. These people may just be like, oh, we don't know who the next neighbor is. I was very lucky in my previous house. When I moved in, all my neighbors sent cards to say, welcome to number 3, you're welcome. They explain themselves, they introduce themselves, their names and how long they've been on that street, which was very beautiful. I think it's a beautiful gesture. And I wish, every neighborhood would be like that. Sometimes you meet neighborhood that is not that great, but try to go around your neighborhood. You may find a friend. Even if you don't find a friend, there may be things that you don't know exist that will just be around. So once you've settled in, take a walk around the neighborhood. If you want to, if you feel free to, just introduce yourself to somebody. Meet your neighbors. Talk to them. If they invite you for something, try to attend, because that's also very important. Make sure you do not discard all the important documents relating to your property. Even if you're renting, if you're buying, make sure there's a place where you've organized all your documents. You may think that once you're ready, it looked like there was a storm, not too long, Storm Erin, that happened in the UK. One thing most people did not know, that in their contracts, especially when they were buying, some things were not covered, some things were covered. That is because after you've bought that property, you've not managed, or you've not been interested in going back to look at those documents to know that these are the things that you need to put in place, or this is covered, this is not covered. Make sure your document that is relating to your house are all in one place. God forbid there's a problem. That is the day you will know how important those documents are. Make sure you organize your documents. I usually say have a briefcase that is fireproof. It's not fireproof, but that is waterproof. Have a briefcase with all your important documents in. God forbid you're in the house, fire is going to just, maybe, God forbid you're in a place and you have to evacuate immediately. You know that the only important thing you're going to pick is going to be that back box, that briefcase that contains your important document. That is just something that's worked for me. I've done it all my life. I usually have somewhere where movable, where I have my document. If they say, oh yeah, run, I'm going to just pick that and I'm going to run. And I know that, yes, I have my document that will help me to resettle wherever I'm going. Another thing is, take your time to settle in. Do not rush. I would advise, like when we're moving from my previous house, we gave ourselves a lot of space. Like where we're living, our rent was going to last up until the 20th, but the new place we moved to, our key was ready on the 1st of the month. So we had 20 days to settle down. I know some people may not be able to afford that, because then you're having to pay 2 rents, but give yourself time. I gave myself over 15 days to pack. I took my time. I had time to go back to the old building to go clean it up. You know, because I was working full time at it as well. So just take your time, settle in, enjoy your new space. Give it time for you to settle in as well. Give time to absorb the new environment. I don't know if this has been helpful to anybody. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video. Please, before you go, do me well by just pressing the subscribe button, share this video. Let me know what topic you want me to address next in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, I remain your baby girl of like Gloria. See you later.